Ready to go? All right, let's do an intro. It's rolling, so let me say, hey, I'm Ryan. My name's Ryan.
My name is Mason.
And today we're going to do some heavy power cleans. You got anything?
Nope, but we're going to do some heavy power cleans. Heavy power cleans.
Here we go. I think that's perfect. So here's the prescription for the day. We're going to start with like 80% of our 1-rep maxes. So for Mason, that'd probably be like, what, 135?
Got him! Got him!
120.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe even less. But anyways, it's all right. We'll just change weights. And we're just going to keep adding 10 pounds until we can. So for you, that'd be like, what, 155? You think
Maybe.
we'll win?
It's a stretch. I
If
think I
that?
get 160.
So you'll probably get like 2 sets or something?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. I'll see you when we start getting warmed up. Pew!
Unfortunately, something you might run into when you go to a public gym is the majority of the barbells who might have their knurling really worn down and the sleeves might not spin that well. So make sure that you check that and just see if there's a barbell that's decent. And when you get in, just politely ask if someone's using it, if you can use it after them, just so, you're setting yourself up for success and you're also being polite. But always make sure you check that, because when you're doing the Olympic lifts, a good barbell really, really matters. And it matters for the power lifts as well.
How many reps?
Nice and hot, stepping up to the platform. What a crisp looking power clean. Very soft all the way around.
Hey, no funny business, all right? We're here to lift weights.
One way I know I can reliably gauge potential readiness is through how good my hook grip feels. And I know if my hook grip feels like trash, then I'm probably not as tuned up as I'd like to be. Hook grip feels so-so right now. We'll see how it feels as I start warming up, but that's a really good indicator of what I could potentially expect from this session. Even when you're doing lighter sets like this, and you know that you're, 99% confident that you're going to make the rep very crisply, the intent still needs to be there. You're still trying to move the bar as fast as you can. It's called maximal intent to move. Pretty much with every set you're doing where you're pushing strength or power, that's how you want to move. Always. Always move as powerfully and as forcefully as possible.
A lot of intent to it. Yeah.
All right, going to start this bad boy off at 315. Should move really well. Let's build some confidence and go from there.
All right, so I can just tell that kind of below my threshold of just like baseline performance right now. Not strong, as I usually feel. But I'm not going to let that psych me out. Anytime I have a day like this, and I'm doing something more skill-based, I just try to focus on my technique a little bit more. In that's going to be my saving grace. I'm going to try to be as efficient as possible with my movement and not try to waste any force or any movement at all. And generally, that helps the session go along a little bit more smoothly. Training is one of the greatest tools for introspective thinking. Because if you pay attention, right, the phenomena of training will reveal itself to you more readily, right? So, for example, I know another indicator that I'm just not feeling as good as I want to today is that, like, when I pick that weight up, it feels heavy. Whereas I don't feel a power clean, I don't feel the weight of it until I really start to extend. But when I pick it up right now, it feels heavier than it should. So that's another indicator of how I'm feeling today and where my head and my body's at. Starting to get towards the end, but that last set gave me some confidence. So I'm thinking we're gonna smoke this one for sure and move on.
Me, my friends know when I work to finish the workout, like hot rent, low weight.
All right. I don't know if you've heard there, but Mason was talking in my setup, and that's like talking in the middle of someone's backswing. You know what I mean? So I'm not blaming that one on me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I sucked that one. I had to walk it forward. I'm for sure going to go for 355, maybe 365, depending on how that feels. But I'm going to only focus on one cue right now. Whenever I don't feel as strong as I generally do, I like to make this my focal point, and that is the moment that I'm done extending is this exact same moment that I want to start getting into flexion. And I don't want any gray area there. As soon as I'm done extending, I'm going to get into flexion and try to be as efficient and economical there as possible.
Come on. Here we go, body.
So because power cleaning Olympic lifting lies a little bit more in the skill realm than the power lifts, you have more of an opportunity to potentially like make up for a rep or do a more effective rep than the previous one if you failed it, because there's a little bit more skill involved. I'm not saying you can't do that with the power lifts. You can absolutely miss a squat, come back and get it, but don't be afraid if you miss a rep and it's close to try it again and just try to be a little bit more nuanced with your skill. Also, Mason and I are neck and neck right now in terms of sets completed, I think. If he gets this one and I don't get the next one, he wins. So we'll see what happens.
He's trying to distract me with jokes, but it's not going to work. I'm locked in. Steel trap up here.
He cheated. It's okay though. Wasn't a power clean, man. We'll give it to him. I said he cheated. It's okay. Was that like natural last second?
Mason wins.
All right, Mason won fair and square, so I already had some rows to do, but then he's going to pick the exercises after those. Looks like a bit of shoulder pressing is on the menu next. Of course you would choose curls next. That's it. Mason, what'd you say about wearing your gym shoes outside?
Not changing shoes after you work out and wearing your Olympic flat footers is like wearing baseball cleats inside of turf batting cages instead of turf shoes.
which usually I can
Zero feel.
usually
So
rebuttal
that's
Mason,
two losses on the day.
but he's kind of right.
dubs for Mace.
He's right there. So I'll just take that L. Yeah, he's lucky he stopped talking there. I'd slap that mustache right off his face. Frickin' jabroni. When in Rome. It'd be weird to go to IHOP and get like a burger, right?
It's like going to Mexican and getting chicken tenders. Yeah, weird.
What you mean? They off. What you mean?
What you think?
Solid.
Nice.
It's really good. Merry Christmas. Love you, bud.
One is like a dream come true. Two, just wanna be with you. Three, girl, it's plain to see that you're the only one. Sorry, I didn't know you were listening. I think the message behind today's training session is that I think you should always go into a training session, particularly one where you're training with a barbell, you're doing powerlifting exercises, Olympic lifting, whatever. You should go in with some kind of goal, some kind of idea of like what you want to do in terms of what would make that session feel successful from a number standpoint. But the minute that you get in there and start moving around, engaging how you actually feel on that day, you have to filter those goals through your readiness, which is just your ability to perform on any given day, and make a slight adjustment based upon how you're feeling. So that way your expectations are set correctly, and you're not going to leave that session, you're not going to leave the gym feeling, potentially under or overwhelmed based upon how you did. You always want to leave the gym, for the most part, feeling good about your time in there. Of course, I've had sessions where I've left frustrated and aggravated about how things went, and maybe overall it wasn't very productive, but those are very, very, very few and far between, particularly now as I just turned 30 and I continue to train as I age. And so I guess the concept that needs to be clearly stated is that your strength fluctuates on any given day. Sure, there is somewhat of a baseline, a floor through which you're probably never really going to dip below unless, knock on wood, you have some sort of really unfortunate illness or crazy life circumstance. But typically there's a floor that you're going to operate through, and that's your baseline. But that baseline fluctuates from day to day, and there will be days where you feel like you're right at that baseline, but there also will be days where you feel like you can operate at the top of your ceiling of performance, even if you're not peaked or planned on peaking. There will be random days that are extremely hard to predict where you just feel incredible, you feel amazing, you feel like you're firing on all cylinders, and you feel like you can lift the world. As you're warming up, as you start touching the barbell, as you start adding weights onto the bar, I encourage you just to pay attention to the little nuances that will help you realize your readiness for the day. Like today, I talked about my hook grip, and I talked about the weight feeling heavy during the first pull, which are two things that when I'm feeling really good, I don't notice at all. So hope that helps. Have a great rest of your day. Training is fun. You!